Hello, my dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West. As you can see, probably I'm wearing different outfit. Well, it's almost New Year. Why not give it a shot to celebrate a little bit, even in advance, all right? So I believe that everybody of my audience, this is the same kind of set of mind, will start celebrating already. Okay, now, New Year can wait. The holidays can wait. Let's talk about the problems that we are facing. A few days ago, we did a show talking about the aftershock of the massacre that happened in France first week of January. It was only the aftershock, and once again, I did make a very clear declaration or disclaimer that whatever I said on that show represents myself. It doesn't do anything to represent the show, nor does it to the organization. Today, I'm doing the same thing now. I will make my disclaimer or declaration that whatever I say on this show represents only myself. Me, nothing, nobody but myself. That's it. And doesn't represent anything of the show. Now, neither does it to the organization, EDI, G&E TV, you name it, right? And the magazine and the paper. Right. We have what? We have more than 20 radio stations. We have more than 12 TV channels. I don't want to represent everything, just me, myself, as the word Jack Chow stand for.
Yes.
Right. Joining me in the discussion, still looking into the situation, is the consequences, the aftershock consideration, the thoughts or even the lessons we could learn from, is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, famous writer for his lovely book, Life Simple, 100 Words to Live By. Oh, by the way,
thank you.
Into the discussion, though, probably we can apply some words of yours.
Absolutely.
Right, if you would
absolutely
pick up some.
I will throw those in.
Yeah. So to Ken,
yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year for January 1st, and Happy New Year for Chinese New Year.
You know, Ken, while saying welcome to the show, once again, I would want to make one thing to my audience, that Ken is a good friend of mine, and it's a good friend of my show to the community as well. Even though, or in spite of the fact that we argue sometimes, he seems to be on one side, I seem to be on the other side, but that's the beauty of democracy.
Absolutely.
Right? That's the beauty of friendship. That's why I like him a lot. So whatever we argue, when probably if I punch a fist on his nose, so
no problem.
We're still friends.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, our minds.
Okay, you can do the same.
You know, we think in certain times we think in certain different rhythms, but our minds are always compatible and respect each other and love each other.
Sure. Today we simply talk about the statement made by Pope Francis as of yesterday, when he was aborting the Papal plan to Philippines, I believe.
Yes, he was.
Right. And it was his good friend, Gascari.
Yes.
Gascari next to him, Alberto Gascari next to him, who organized the trip, such a trip, and where he applies the situation of the Paris incident. He made quite a statement. Would you please, I know you might disagree, might disagree to some extent.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. Could you please read to my audience in case they haven't heard about it?
Right.
So when you read, please read it slowly, carefully, word by word. Make sure each word is heard, please.
Yes, sir. Okay. Aboard the papal airplane, the Pope said, Pope Francis said Thursday, there are limits to freedom of expression, especially when it insults or ridicules someone's faith. Francis spoke about the Paris terror attacks while en route to the Philippines, defending free speech as not only a fundamental human right, but a duty to speak one's mind for the sake of the common good. By way of example, he referred to Alberto Gascari, who organizes papal trips and was standing by his side, aboard the papal plane. It is my good friend, Dr. Kaspari, if he says a curse word against my mother, he can expect a punch, Francis said, throwing a pretend punch his way. It's normal. You cannot provoke. You cannot insult the faith of others. You cannot make fun of the faith of others.
Okay,
now,
that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, how do you feel? What's your comment? Your overall take about such a statement, please?
Yeah, well, number one, if in my book, I say that I am unoffendable. So nothing can offend me. Now, people can get offended, and the Pope here is saying, I believe, that he would be offended if Dr. Kaspari made negative comments about the Pope's mother. Now, and he said he might expect a punch. So I can accept the first part of what he said as he would find it offendable. The second part, I cannot accept that you could expect a punch, because that's violent, and I don't think any words should be provoke and create the act of violence.
Probably we should stop right here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's dissect his statements.
Yeah.
That paragraph of statement.
Yeah.
Because I may hold a different point of views as versus what you say
Yes,
right
sir.
now. When he says it has limitation, freedom has a limitation, has respect. Respect meaning that you got to respect what I respect. At least you do not want to provoke who or what I respect. Right? Do you think that's a international rule, or that's something should be held on?
It's an international common courtesy. What I also say, though, is respect, to be respected, the item or event we're talking about needs to deserve the respect. There are things in this world, actions and words, that do not deserve respect.
You just mentioned that in your book you say that you are almost
Unoffendable.
unoffendable.
I am
right?
unoffendable.
Nobody can upset you. Nobody can offend you.
Nobody can provoke me.
I mean, possibly.
Right.
Now,
Words cannot provoke
but I
me.
am. Well, am
Sure,
I still
sure.
your friend?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
We're all individuals.
Now you are, or you got to be aware of the fact that even though you are not offendable, you are still having offendable friends.
Oh, I love I love
right?
people. Yes,
Am
sir.
I right?
So, and some people are.
Do you have to take my take as a take?
I accept that. See, a lot of people have there's different thicknesses of skin.
Another example, if you like to eat spicy food,
Yeah.
and I hate spicy food,
Sure.
do you expect everybody to eat spicy food?
No, but I just
Or do
hope
I
you don't
have
put
to
it on
expect-
mine.
Yeah, do I have to expect anybody not to eat spicy food?
That's an individual taste,
All
choice.
right,
Yeah.
so now you respect me, my taste of not eating spicy food.
Of course.
I do you, vice versa, right?
Right.
So
But
why can't we respect the fact that you are not to offend people?
I can fully expect, I can fully respect a person that could be offended, okay? But how you deal with being offended is a way that I would not
Of course,
go along with violence.
As to the part of how you deal with it, you have your way of dealing, I have my way of dealing.
Right.
You're not criticizing my way of dealing because of your way of dealing.
No.
Neither am I with me, my way of dealing, to criticize your dealing. Right?
See,
so it's
yeah.
equal.
But of course, my book is named "Life is Simple," and it is simple when you're not getting offended during your life.
I know, but
That's
I do
what
not. There are people.
Yeah.
However, fact is, there are people who are not taking life as simple.
That's right.
Who are taking life the hard way, but they are still people. Sometimes they are still your friends.
100%.
Do you let them do their way and still respect them doing things in their own way?
As long as
That's
it's
the
not
problem.
violent, yes.
No, of course.
As long as
Now,
it's not violent.
Yeah, we're talking about that part, the first part of the Pope's statement,
Yeah.
that you respect what other people respect. If you
Yeah.
say bad words against my mother, I will get offended.
Right.
Right? That is the first part of the statement. Do you think you and I get agreement on that part, please?
Yes, and if someone says bad things about my mother, I just ignore it because it has no impact, and I know who my mother is and they don't.
All right.
So I just don't get offended.
Yeah, okay. Once again, that's you.
That's me.
That's why you're called.
I'm
that's why
abnormal
you're
too.
Cam.
Yeah.
That's why I'm Jack.
Yeah.
So can interject different people, different
Yeah.
names, different characters,
Different
right?
responses.
Different styles,
Yeah.
different response,
Yeah.
and different, of course, consequence and result.
Yes.
Now let's move to the second part. When he says to his friends, he can expect a punch,
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Do you take that as sarcasm, as a humor, sense of humor?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. You know, in a silly little way, it can be, but he continues to say that there can be some things that of provocation that can result in some justifiable. See, you can't joke about violence.
No.
You
Suppose he stopped right there.
Yeah.
Nothing continues.
Yeah.
Right? And he went on to the airplane
Yeah.
and shut the door and started flying.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of the whole thing, he could expect a punch. That's it.
And-
So, do you take that as a sense of humor?
Well, you know, let me tell you, when I first read it, and I
right,
heard
okay.
it last night, yesterday, my first reaction to that, what came to my mind was spousal abuse. Okay, people say, married people or girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, say some things that can be very offensive, and sometimes they do that. And so that was just my first take on it. He had no intention of doing that, but that was my first thing. That wait a minute, that's abuse. That's physical abuse. And that's not acceptable.
Okay. Obviously, we're dragging ourselves too far.
Sure,
We're
yeah.
not talking about domestic violence.
Right.
We're not talking about spousal dispute,
Yeah.
abuse,
Yeah.
or whatever, or even disputes, whatever. And we're talking about the comment. We're commenting on Pope Francis' statement, right? The first paragraph statement, and then we cut the statement, the first paragraph statement, in two halves, right? And we
Right.
talk about it in two halves. To my dear audience friend, we are here discussing about the Pope's statement as made of yesterday. We'll be right back after this short break. We'll continue finding while dissecting the dissectioning, doing the dissectioning of the speeches. We probably will find out where the Pope stands, where the fact stands, right? So stay with us.